12.741. They're getting to grips with Monza 88, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a Barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
Watch as Chris Duke takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything: the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Megasaurus 55 is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Monza 88.
There's the first flying lap for Sunweiler, hitting 13.235. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Look at Megasaurus 55 taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Joe Hughes on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
There's Megasaurus 55, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Monza 88.
Sunweiler has a best lap time of 12.231. Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
Sunoiler's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:29.071. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Megasaurus 55 is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Monza 88.
There's Richard Rossia, easing out onto Monza 88. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Watch as Nathan Vexler takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:12.231. And off goes Richard Rossia, easing into the rhythm of Monza 88. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Joe Yu is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The outlap is like the opening chapter of a book. It sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car is responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Monza 88.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better, we liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
Look at Richard Rossier taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Look at Lars go, they're really giving it some jandal now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
There's Joe Ergu, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Monza 88.
Chris Ilduke posted a 2:34.241 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 17 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Joe Ergu is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, Camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Zhou Ergu posted 18.012 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Monza 88.
We're about to witness some serious heart as they battle it out for a chance at the front of the starting grid.
Zhou Ergu is on their out lap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
An outstanding display from Wayne Pearson. In this, Wayne Pearson has completed their out lap. Richard Rossier has secured a respectable fifth in the qualifying session. Can they capitalise on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? Currently in 8th, Zhou Ergu has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. It's an impressive showing by Chris Ilduke, currently in 2nd. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Incredible. Rob has completed their out lap. has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Sunoiler has completed their outlap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Wayne Pearson has completed their outlap. Rob has positioned themselves well in second during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Impressive work from Sunoiler, who has claimed 4th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. A strong showing from Rob as they currently sit in second. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Keane has done a fantastic job to claim second. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Rob Always Keen has just completed a lap in 2:09.656. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Impressive display by Chris Ilduke, currently sitting in position 7. Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. And there goes Lars, currently in position 4. Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. Nathan Vexler has put in a great effort and currently holds 3rd. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I completely agree, Rob. Nathan Vexler has positioned themselves impressively in 3rd. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Nathan Vexler has completed their first flying lap in 2:09.327. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Richard Rossier has just completed that lap in 2:12.206. Their best lap so far is 4:19.180. Putting them in P9. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. A solid qualifying performance by Richard Rossia, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Thinking Richard Rossia could benefit from tweaking their tyre strategy. That last lap at 2:11.177 isn't cutting it for 6th. A switch to a softer compound might give them the edge they need.
Spot on, Rob. A softer tire could provide that extra grip, but they'll have to manage tire wear carefully. It's a risky play, but it might just pay off.
Currently in 5th, Sunoiler has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Absolutely, Rob. Sunoiler has shown great potential to secure 5th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
A tough outing for Zhou Ergu in qualifying today. They currently sit in 11th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. Sunoiler has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalise on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? Sunoiler will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session. It's an impressive showing by maybe today's Satan, currently in 9th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
You're spot on, Rob. Maybe today's Satan's current position of 9th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Maybe today's Satan has just completed a lap in 2:16.129. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. A solid performance from Rob as they currently hold position 3. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Rob's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
Looks like Rob Always Keen is making a statement, securing a spot in third.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up.
Impressive work from Chris Ilduke, who has claimed 7th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better. Chris Ilduke's last lap at 2:11.709 has them languishing in 7th. Time slipping away, and they need to find some magic on the track.
Absolutely, Rob. It's crunch time, and they've got to push that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup viewer beyond its limits if they want to claw back into the top 5.
A strong showing from Richard Rossier as they currently sit in 6th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Absolutely, Rob. Richard Rossier has put in a remarkable effort to secure 6th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
And there goes Maybe Today Satan, currently in position 9. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. With Maybe Today Satan clocking at 2:13.854, they've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 8th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's going to take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
Incredible drive by Andreas Dittmann so far, earning him 9th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Impressive display by Richard Rossier, currently sitting in position 6. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Richard Rossier's got their work cut out for them in 6th. Perhaps adjusting the gear ratios for better acceleration could help knock off a few tenths.
You're on the money, Rob. On a track with this many tight turns, quicker acceleration out of the corners could be key to a faster lap time.
Currently in 2nd, Nathan Vexler has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Spot-on analysis, Rob. Nathan Vexler has positioned themselves well in 2nd. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
Nathan Vexler's really showing what they're made of, landing in 2nd during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed.
Nathan Vexler has secured a respectable 2nd in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? It's a very still day here at Monza 88, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Rob Keane will be feeling confident starting from pole position.
But they can't let their guard down. The other drivers will be gunning for them.
Nathan Vexler lines up in second place as the engines rev and the race begins.
Nathan Vexler will be ready to show what they're made of.
The third place on the grid belongs to Lars, a driver with plenty of experience. We're seeing Megasaurus 55 in the fourth spot.
What can they do with that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup Euro from here?
Sunoiler is holding down the fort in fifth place.
It's like they're on the outside looking in. Can they make their way to the front of the pack?
Richard Rossier will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from sixth on the grid. Our seventh place starter, Chris Ilduke, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. Maybe today Satan is 8th. Andreas Dittmann is placed in 9th.
We've not seen the best from Andreas Dittmann yet.
Starting from 10th on the grid is a good position for Joe Ergu to launch an attack. Wayne Pearson is lining up 11th. The green flag is out and we're racing. Who's going to take the lead?
The opening lap is often a hotbed of potential problems. The ability to steer clear of any mishaps will set the stage for a successful race.
The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Will we see a clean race today?
They say, steady as she goes, and that's exactly what Wayne Pearson's doing. Holding on to 11, maybe they've got a trick or two up their sleeve for later. Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. Bit of a cruisy start for Wayne Pearson, just filling out the track at Monza 88. You know, like a dingo sussing out the lay of the land. I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
It's a steady race for Megasaurus 55 so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus. It's a thrilling pursuit as Joe Ergu is right behind maybe today Satan, keeping the pressure on for 6th place.
Should things go south between Jorg Yu and maybe today's Satan, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Blimey, Joe Ergu's shifted gears and the results are clear, cruising up to 6th just like that.
It's like Jorg Yu had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 6th.
As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Joe Ergu has carved out a spot at 6th.
You're right, every gear shift, every turn counts. Jorg Yu knows the weight of that sixth.
The race is really heating up. Lars is hunting down Megasaurus 55 with everything they've got.
The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Lars's engine is churning to get past Megasaurus 55.
It's all systems go for Jorg Yu, marking their territory in the 6th.
Definitely wrong, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Heartbreak for Jorg Yu as they slip down the field.
We've seen Jorg Yu in such situations before. A temporary descent, but always with an eye on the bigger picture.
I love being here at Monza 88. What an awesome place to be witnessing these titans of the track battle it out.
Indeed, Rob, what a magnificent sight and sound. I love listening to the roar of these engines. Let's just listen for a moment.
Cricky, Jorg Yu's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate.
Well, shoot, if Jorg Yu was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
With steely determination and laser focus, Megasaurus 55 is homing in on Nathan Vexler. The battle lines are drawn. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Chris Il-Duke is proper nipping at maybe today Satan's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
That's right. Chris Il-Duke is determined to pass maybe today Satan and secure a higher position.
Mate, are they packing something extra down under? Chris Il-Duke's just rocketed into 8th.
Absolutely. Chris Il-Duke is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Tough break for Chris Il-Duke, who has just lost a position. It's an intense battle for position as Chris Il-Duke tries to outmaneuver maybe today Satan. This is edge of your seat racing. This is where the race gets really interesting. Wayne Pearson is closing in on Andreas Dittmann.
Well, butter my biscuit. Wayne Pearson's hot on Andreas Dittmann's tail, and not in the way you're thinking. There's some serious wooing going on at Monza 88 today.
Whoops, Jorg Yu's taken more spins than a dead or alive record.
Monza 88 is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Oi, Wayne Pearson is on Andreas Dittmann like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack.
The stretch ahead of Sunoiler is more baffling than a kangaroo's logic in a trivia contest. They'll need both wit and whimsy to chart a course through.
Looks like trying to square dance on a slick floor, but there's rhythm yet to be found. It's said that Southern nights hide both mystery and promise. As the track unwinds, who's to say what tales it'll tell for Sunoiler?
Sunoiler's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Lars like a dingo after a roadrunner. With every twist and turn, Chris Il-Duke is shadowing Richard Rossier, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt.
Looks like Chris Il-Duke has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. Richard Rossier.
Breaking development. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Well, slap my grandma. Wayne Pearson's gone off like they saw a ghost. Or maybe they just saw their last lap time.
Alright, hold your horses. Chris Il-Duke is really putting the heat on Richard Rossier. If I were Richard Rossier, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. What a move. Chris Il-Duke has moved up to 9th.
You know, back in Carolina, we say, go big or go home. Looks like Chris Il-Duke took that to heart, hitting 9th.
Oh my, Richard Rossier is hot on the tail of Chris Il-Duke. As they come into Variante Retifilo, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
Andreas Dittmann wants to close that gap with Wayne Pearson. These drivers, top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they've got to think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
The adrenaline is pumping as Chris Duke gets within striking distance of maybe today Satan in their race for 8th.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
Wow, Richard Rossier is really pushing hard to catch up to Chris Duke. There's blood in the water for 9th place. Richard Rossier is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 1.8 seconds down. Hey, Hal, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Rob, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
We've got an edge of your seat battle between Chris Duke in 7th and Richard Rossier in 8th, with just 0.1 seconds between them. Talk about being caught in the middle. Chris Duke is sandwiched between their rivals, Richard Rossier 0.1 seconds behind and Andreas Dittmann 0. Braking development. Andreas Dittmann's duffed it up. They're gonna need more than a coldie to forget that one. The gap between Richard Rossier and Chris Duke is razor thin as they vie for 6th in this nail-biting contest. A great pass for Richard Rossier as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Chris Duke has lost ground.
Absolutely, Rob, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Richard Rossier can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
In the grand chessboard of racing, Richard Rossier appears to have just been checked. Now stationed at 7th.
Well, butter my biscuit. A bit of a hiccup for Richard Rossier, but they've got the grit to climb back up.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Megasaurus 55 is shadowing Nathan Vexler, waiting for the slightest misstep.
It's a game of strategy now as Megasaurus 55 hunts down Nathan Vexler. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Megasaurus 55's falling behind Nathan Vexler at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. I've seen kangaroos jump less than the sparks between maybe today Satan and Wayne Pearson. It's almost like a Saturday night date, but with a lot more rubber burning.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Rossier is just behind Chris Duke. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. The intensity is off the charts as Richard Rossier hounds Chris Duke, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Richard Rossier and Chris Duke, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Ripper of a move. Richard Rossier's not just in the race. They're owning it. Did they? 6th. By the looks of it, maybe today Satan in 10th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Wayne Pearson. Hold on to your stubbies. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Megasaurus 55 and Nathan Vexler. gap between Megasaurus 55 and Narton Vexler is getting smaller. Whoa, Megasaurus 55's on fire, leaving skid marks and Narton Vexler's hopes behind.
Someone better check if Megasaurus 55's been drinking those energy drinks, as it seems like they got wings.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Maybe today Satan is sniffing around Wayne Pearson like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of ninth.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Megasaurus 55 has the pedal to the metal chasing Narton Vexler. Megasaurus 55 and Narton Vexler have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.2 seconds now. Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider—
Hold on a moment, bloody hell. Megasaurus 55's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched second. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration. Narton Vexler could be looking for a way up the inside of Megasaurus 55.
Can they make it past without taking the paint off?
Struth. If Richard Rossier gets any closer to Chris Hill-Duke, they'll be asking to share a meat pie. Watch them duel it out at Seconda Curva di Lesmo. Gee whiz, maybe today Satan is breathing down Wayne Pearson's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Wayne Pearson's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded.
Oi, Rob, wouldn't want to be in Wayne Pearson's shoes right now, would y'all? Talk about a pressure cooker situation.
An impressive showing from maybe today Satan, who has gained positions and left Wayne Pearson in the dust. Hold on a moment, looks like maybe today Satan is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride.
Hot diggity, if maybe today Satan had a banjo, they'd be strumming a sad tune right about now.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Richard Rossier is right on the heels of Chris Hill-Duke, and we're in for a wild ride. No room for error here. Wayne Pearson is breathing down the neck of maybe today Satan, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. The best laid plans of mice and men hal, but it's certainly not going to plan for Wayne Pearson right now, as they are struggling to keep up with maybe today Satan. Blimey, the talent on the track today is like watching kangaroos on steroids.
Yeah, and just like those kangaroos, these drivers can really hop into action. You reckon they've got a pocket full of secrets?
Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Rossier is just a few car lengths behind Chris Hill-Duke.
The roaring engines are echoing Richard Rossier's battle cry. Chris Hill-Duke, can you hear the thunder?
It looks like Richard Rossier is making a move. The gap to Chris Hill-Duke is now down to 0.3 seconds.
That's a great effort from Richard Rossier. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Narton Vexler is stalking Megasaurus 55's every move. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
If Richard Rossier isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine. And trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
It's looking good for Narton Vexler, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Megasaurus 55. Cricky, Megasaurus 55 sticking to Narton Vexler like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum in headlights.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Megasaurus 55 is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Nathan Vexler.
Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Megasaurus 55's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Nathan Vexler. This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Richard Rossier is the predator, with Chris Ilduke firmly in their sights.
It's like watching a hawk circling its prey, waiting for the right moment to swoop.
The gap between Richard Rossier and Chris Ilduke is growing. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. I swear, Megasaurus 55's on the prowl, making that leap to second look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Stone the Crows. Megasaurus 55's pulled a sneaky, landing at third. Always a surprise with them. Oh, the chase is on. Richard Rossier's breathing down the neck of Chris Ilduke.
Now, ain't that something? Richard Rossier's car is humming like a sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Chris Ilduke for a spin around the dance floor of Monza 88.
Megasaurus 55 appears to be trying to find a way round Nathan Vexler. They could make a move on them in Retifilo Partenza.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
The action is non-stop as maybe today Satan shadows Andreas Dittmann through every twist and turn, determined to claim 8th.
With maybe today's Satan on the hunt, Andreas Dittmann better not blink. Every split second counts in this tango.
It seems like Megasaurus 55 is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Megasaurus 55 refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
You know, Rob, these pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tires, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Absolutely, and the precision. One slight misstep, and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination.
It looks like maybe today Satan is all over Andreas Dittmann. I think they are gonna press him through Variante Retifilo and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Rob, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Andreas Dittmann is going to be aware of them riding their bumper.
It's like Megasaurus 55 has saved all their energy for this final stretch. A solid performance from Rob, who is holding down first.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
And there it is. Rob Keane has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
What a display of skill and precision.
Impressive second place finish for Nathan Vexler.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
Excellent focus from Megasaurus 55 to secure a fantastic third place on the podium. Lars and Sunoiler take 4th and 5th. Taking 6th is Chris Ilduke. Richard Rossier brings home 7th. 8th is Andreas Dittmann. Maybe today Satan claim 9th. Coming in 10th we have Wayne Pearson. Joe you end in 11th. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Monza 88, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Wayne Pearson to launch an attack. A clarion call to action has been sounded, and our heroes and heroines face the opening gauntlet. With cars in such intimate proximity, the ever-present risk of a calamitous twist beckons.
Right here, right now, it's about avoiding those fender benders and staying in the mix. Nobody wants to start their race with a hiccup.
They say the early bird catches the worm, and Wayne Pearson is proving it today, snatching up positions right from the get-go. tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
I for one am really excited, Rob. The rivalry between Richard Rosier and Sunway has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
Well, butter my cornbread, Sunoilers playing it cool and steady. Maybe they're just enjoying the beautiful 1988 Italian Grand Prix here at Monza 88. Can't blame them.
Having started in 9, Nart and Wexler will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Monza 88. This is going to be good to watch.
Blimey, Wayne Pearson's dropped faster than a kangaroo in a sack race. From position 1 down to 5, not the best way to kick off at Monza 88.
It's like turning up to a hoedown and realizing you've forgotten your banjo. Wayne Pearson's slip from 1 to 5 is a rhythm breaker, for sure.
We're watching Lars in 8th, and is currently being hounded by Rob with a gap of just 0.2 seconds.
Lars needs to get the lead out, Rob, otherwise their backside is going to look like the Japanese flag come morning.
Lars is looking to take advantage of that error as they get in range of Wayne Pearson. That's going to give them the pull they need to mount a challenge very soon.
This could be where Lars is going to dive up the inside. Wayne Pearson is going to need to cover the inside, and that will compromise their exit speed.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. Fair dinkum, Lars is dropping like a cold pie and Rob's snatching the top shelf Tim Tams.
Feels like Rob brought their barbecue A game, while Lars's grill's gone cold.
Fair dinkum, Rob's got a blue trying to bridge that gap. Might be praying for a blue from the front runners at this rate.
That's tougher than a $2 steak right now.
In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
It's a close race between Martin Wexler and Chris Ilduke in 5th. The tension is palpable. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing. Hold on to your hats. Megasaurus 55 is gunning for Wayne Pearson. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? And Megasaurus 55 has just won the place from Wayne Pearson. The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Wayne Pearson is breathing down the neck of Megasaurus 55, not giving him any room to relax. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Someone should tell Richard Rosier this ain't a Sunday drive. Chris Ilduke's tearing up the track. The way these cars grip the track is incredible. It's all about downforce. They're stuck to it like a piece of gum to the bottom of a school desk.
Now that's an analogy I get. But why's your gum always under the desks?
Hey, Sunoiler, if Wayne Pearson gets any closer, you might need to pop the question. The last time I did that, she said, actually I can't tell you because of the court order.
If Wayne Pearson gets any closer to the back of Sunoiler, then one of them is going to need some lube if they want to take this further.
As they speed through Curva Grande, Wayne Pearson is relentlessly pursuing Sunoiler in a high-stakes battle for position.
Rob, last time I saw Wayne Pearson this riled up, there were sparks flying off the track. Get ready for a showdown.
It's a game of inches now as Lars tails Nart and Wexler closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Richard Rossier wants to get into Chris Ilduke's slipstream. Oi, Martin Vexler, might want to chuck AUEY. With Lars that close, you'd think you owe them money. And between us, I know a bit about that. Lars wants to close that gap with Martin Vexler.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Maybe Richard Rossier's got a drop bear in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers.
Seems like Richard Rossier's off-roading it. You know, like my attempts to adult. All over the place.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess.
You're absolutely right, Rob. The different strategies employed by these drivers add another layer of excitement. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approach to gain a competitive edge.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Look at this, Martin Vexler is practically drafting off Megasaurus 55. With the gap this small, Redifilo Partenza is going to be a real test. We got a close battle as Lars closes in on Chris Ilduke. Big gains for Lars as they move up the field, leaving Chris Ilduke behind.
Absolutely. Lars is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Every race has its highs and lows. Today, Lars acquaints themselves with a new perspective at fourth. Keane is on a mission, chasing Wayne Pearson, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Things are heating up as Chris Ilduke closes in on Andreas Didman. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Now isn't this a show? Lars has gotten a bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Andreas Didman. Look at him weave and bob through variant Ascari, folks.
It's going to be a close one. Lars will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these drivers have in each other is truly remarkable.
Even though braking alert, oh dear, Chris Ilduke has had an incident.
If Chris Ilduke's trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that swerve, spot on. Just spot on.
This is what it's all about, folks. Andreas Didman is in hot pursuit of Martin Vexler, who's just trying to stay ahead.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Andreas Didman gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
Here's some action. Megasaurus 55's tailgating Andreas Didman so close, it's like they're sharing the same set of wheels as they near Variante Redifilo.
Y'all see that? Megasaurus 55's right on Andreas Didman's tail, and with the gap narrow, Variante Redifilo is going to be crucial.
Things are getting spicy as Andreas Didman is breathing down Megasaurus 55's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Andreas Didman is doing to Megasaurus 55 right now, doesn't it?
A strategic misstep perhaps? Andreas Didman's place has shifted to fifth. The plot thickens.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Andreas Didman needs to stay calm and focused, and make their move when the time is right.
Oh, talk about a tango on tarmac. Sunoiler is dancing closer and closer to Andreas Didman. You can feel the tension as they approach Seconda Curva di Lesmo.
Well, isn't this a showdown? Sunoiler's right on the tail of Andreas Didman. Eyes peeled as they approach Seconda Curva di Lesmo, folks.
And Andreas Didman is having to make that Renault 5 Turbo Europa Cup JUR as wide as possible to try and keep Rob Keane behind them.
Well, shucks. Andreas Didman might want to drop a gear or two. Keen's breathing down their exhaust like they're trying to catch a high off a tailpipe. Did we just witness a gambit?
It seems Andreas Didman is recalibrating, now at 7th. I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Rob's got one goal in mind, capturing Sunoiler's spot. The gap between Keen and Sunoiler is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. The evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tyre technology, it's all a game of innovation.
Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy.
Fair dinkum, I reckon Joe Ergu's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Wayne Pearson in the front. It's an intense battle for position as Sunoiler tries to outmaneuver Keen. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Sunoiler looked like overtaken, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
If Sunoiler doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. At this stage, hold on a moment, blimey. Andreas Didman must have spotted a pub off the track. That's the only reason any self-respecting Aussie would swerve that way. This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here.
Joe Ergu is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Wayne Pearson at the moment. Mate, Rob's right up Lars's chuff. As they zip through Curva Parabolica, we're all expecting some fireworks. Now that's how it's done. Rob Keen rips through the track, while Lars watches the tail lights fade.
Definitely. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Rob needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
The adrenaline is pumping as Chris Ilduke gets within striking distance of Joe Ergu in their race for 8th.
Chris Ilduke is so close to Ergu that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to braking alert. Well, Joe Ergu's spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map? Or a therapist?
Well, butter my biscuit. Ergu took a trip to the weeds. Must have thought they were at a barn dance the way they spun around.
You reckon Nart and Vexler's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible.
Hold on to your stubbies. Nart and Vexler is closing in on maybe today's Satan like a bachelor at the end of a bucks night. Hope maybe today's Satan either brought some lube or protection. Well, butter my biscuit. Megasaurus 55 is no slouch, mate. That lap time's gonna give Nart and Vexler some grey hairs.
As long as Megasaurus 55 can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Nart and Vexler in second is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, It's so close, I reckon Nathan Vexler can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Richard Rossia is right behind Joe Ergu, keeping the pressure on for 9th place. Fantastic move from Richard Rossia, who has just gained a position.
Dang, if Richard Rosier keeps this up, we'll need to douse the track. Smokin' hot move to 9th.
You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks.
Braking development. Blimey, Rob's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burned.
Dang. Rob was riding high, but that slip up? That's like tripping over your own shoelaces at the county fair.
The tension is building as Megasaurus 55 trails behind Nathan Vexler. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Nathan Vexler hold on, or will Megasaurus 55 be able to close them down?
It's going to be tough for Megasaurus 55, as Nathan Vexler seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Megasaurus 55 pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Oh mate, Lars is more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the barbie.
That's right, Lars in 4th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But maybe today's Satan is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Lars is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.74 seconds down. You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Joe Ergu comfortably sitting at 10th.
Oh, spot on. With the way Ergu controls the 10th, you'd think they've got the track's blueprints.
Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Joe Ergu is in the lead, but Andreas Dittmann is closing in and the gap is now 7.2 seconds. Get ready, folks, with Chris Ilduke tailing this close to Wayne Pearson, Curva Grande is about to become a hotspot. It's like David versus Goliath out there. Chris Ilduke just slung a stone and gained ground, while Wayne Pearson is left searching for footing. A setback for Chris Ilduke, who has just been passed. This is a thrilling battle as Lars edges closer to maybe today Satan in their fight for P3.
It's a dance of titans, a symphony of engines, and Lars's tempo is rising.
Wayne Pearson wants to find a way round Chris Ilduke. Truth, Wayne Pearson's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. Every move counts now as Lars works to reel in maybe today's Satan and overtake for P3.
The mental game is just as important here. Lars must keep their cool while putting pressure on maybe today's Satan.
Bloody oath, Lars is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to maybe today's Satan down to a scant 0.5 seconds. Watching Rob try to close that gap on Sunoiler is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
Lord have mercy. Rob Always Keen's got more space between him and Sunoiler than my paw got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
onto your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Rob and Sunderland.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
The pursuit is on. Lars is closing the gap on Maybe Today Satan, determined to claim P3. Good news for Lars, the gap to Maybe Today Satan has decreased. It's now down to 0.2 seconds. Well, if it isn't Lars, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac.
Sweet cornbread. Lars must have thought there's a Walmart sale off the track the way they went off.
Rob is on fire in the last sector.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Rob, always keen, has certainly risen to the occasion.
It might be early days, but Nathan Vexler is already casting a shadow from the first.
You nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Nathan Vexler's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Nathan Vexler, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Nathan Vexler remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
What a drive from Megasaurus 55, securing a great second-place finish.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
What a race from Maybe Today Satan, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish. Finishing 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Rob Keane, Sunoiler, Lars, and Chris Ilduke. In 8th and 9th, it's Richard Rossier and Wayne Pearson. Joe Ergu take 10th. Andreas Dittmann in 11th.